This is the Little Moments Count radio podcast, created in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. Each episode, you'll hear interviews with early childhood experts on how to support the important brain development that takes place in the first 1,000 days of life, just through little moments every day. Learn more at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local and national Native news and events, and as you know, Ogama Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. And I want to say this episode of Native Roots Radio is presented in partnership with Little Moments Count.
Yeah, Little Moments Count is a statewide collaborative focused on helping parents and caregivers learn about the importance of brain development in the first 3 years of life. So nearly 80% of brain growth happens in the first 1,000 days, and small moments of interaction like talking, playing, reading, and singing help create pathways that build a child's brain during this early stage in life. You can find more information by going to littlemomentscount.org.
Hey, before we get going, Ogama, with our guests and our partners here with Barb, I just want to give a quick shout out to prayers up to all our relatives in Florida. Big 18-foot waves and things like that. I just watched the news before we got on here, and our prayers are out to all our relatives in Florida. And also, I just want to throw out this too. The last episode of Reservation Dogs is on tonight, or it was dropped tonight. So prayers up for that. What a great show. And it was up for another season 3. So we're really excited about that. And before I get too much further into my own thing here, I want to bring on Barb Fabre, and she's president of All Nations Rise, CEO Indigenous Visions, and Lynn is with her today, and I'm gonna have Barb introduce Lynn because I seem a little tongue-tied here. So welcome back, Barb.
Oh, Anin and Buju, Robert, it's great to be here with you and Ogama and Lynn. We're on tonight to talk about INDIGEBOX, and INDIGEBOX is an educational subscription box for early childhood learning environments such as childcare, preschool, Head Start, Language Nests, and it's filled with lots of early learning tools that'll benefit these programs in classrooms serving Indigenous children. And this box is geared around the Ojibwe and the 4 seasons of Ojibwe values and customs. And its goal is to create subscription boxes. Our goal is to eventually include more cultures and into INDIGEBOX. So, and I'm really excited because Lynn from Grand Portage is an early childhood teacher, and she's agreed to come on and share her experience with INDIGEBOX. And I'm going to let Lynn introduce herself.
I am the lead teacher at Grand Portage Head Start in Grand Portage, Minnesota. And I use the INDIGEBOX with my students. And I always tell Barb, I am her biggest fan. I love this. As a non-Native teacher of Native children, I feel a huge sense of responsibility to honor the culture and accurately continue the customs and traditions. So this is my best resource that I have.
Wow, that's awesome. Hey, Barb and Lynn, what is all in the INDIGEBOX, and how did it come about? That sounds pretty cool.
Well, we have a variety of activity pages in there. We have material that provide lessons around the Indigenous seasonal activities that you would find in an Ojibwe environment. We have a book based on a seasonal theme. We have a local art item. We have a teacher appreciation gift and a resource magazine. And so it's all created so that the teacher can share with children on Ojibwe customs and activities. It's all based around seasons, so it's whatever's happening in that season. Like fall, of course, is harvesting monomen, wild rice. Spring, there's harvesting of maple syrup. So, there's activities around that. And how it gets started is one of our teammates, Tammy Finn, actually came up with the idea. And she's a fan of subscription boxes. So she had the great idea to come up with the INDIGEBOX. And we just kind of created what would be in it. And it just grew a life of its own. We have a whole team that works on it. And there's 4 subscription boxes a year. And they can find out more on our website.
That's exciting. Lynn, is it as fun as it sounds when you get that box? It's like, hey, I hope there's a candy bar in there too, but here comes some great curriculum and things to help out my Native kids.
Oh yeah, it's like Christmas for me. I love it. The books are beautiful, absolutely beautiful books. The teacher gifts, I gotta be honest, they're pretty amazing. So they just make you feel a little extra special, and they're related to the contents of the box, and they're cultural, and they're wonderful. So I really look forward to the box. Whenever UPS drops it off, I'm right there opening it.
Barb, how long has this been going on? This sounds like a great idea. And are you talking about quarterly for each season? How has the response been, and how exciting is that to put together?
A lot of work goes into it. It actually takes, it is 4 times a year. And we just mailed out the fall subscription box today. I'm tongue-tied. It's catchy, Robert. We're also taking orders for the winter box. And we've been doing it. We're on our 2nd year. We didn't know how it was going to go. So the first box, we only created 50. But within a week, we already had a waiting list. So we kind of knew we were onto something. And, it started with us talking about we're creating an cultural early childhood curriculum. And so then the subscription box came into the conversation. And so that's how it was created.
That's exciting. And we got a less than a minute and a half here before we go to break. I think, do we reach a lot of people? And again, I'm tongue tied there. That's bad to be a radio host and be tongue tied, but we reach a lot of people. Now, could anybody across the country subscribe to this? And that as long as they're a teacher and teaching Native kids in Ojibwe?
Absolutely. It's for classrooms, any classroom and any home. It's really, and it can also go up to probably grade 4. So there's activities in there, like we said, relate to the season, and we create it for children. And we recently, and when we come back from break, I'll share a little bit about the survey that we did after our first year.
Wow, thanks.
The results.
That's awesome. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're presenting in partnership with Little Moments Count some really great information working on our little ones, and we're really excited to keep on going with this interview. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us, please.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, this episode of Native Roots Radio is in partnership with Little Moments Count.
Native Roots Radio is excited to be partnering with Little Moments Count to host conversations focused on early childhood development. So we're going to be having monthly guests to talk about how they view the role of early childhood development in creating bright futures and strong communities. And today we have Barb Fabre back again. I believe this is her third time on with the Little Moments Count group, and she's brought with her Lynn Sheils. And welcome back, ladies. Thanks so much for being here to talk about INDIGEBOX.
It's great to be here, and we really appreciate this conversation. And much like Little Moments Count, we incorporate each activity page towards a developmental subject such as literacy, math, science, art, or other early learning content areas. The pages include instructions and materials needed for the activity, along with the developmental outcomes that are based on the teaching strategies, goal, observation, and assessment tool.
That's really cool. This INDIGEBOX, Lynn, I want to just ask you a quick question. Do you engage the students when you open up that box and say, this is what's coming and this is exciting? Or is that a personal thing?
Depending on when it comes, sometimes I'm so excited I can't wait until the kids leave, so I have to open it right away. But it can backfire because they get so excited they want to do all the activities that day instead of going home. So,
right. Well, that's a good way. And as a former teacher, it's always great to have the students engaged and excited about learning. So that's a fun thing. And INDIGEBOX is, how did these Barb, how did these lessons get developed? I know I know you're involved with the picking of the curriculum and the fun things that go in there, but who else is involved with that?
Yeah, so like I said, we have a wonderful team, and Taylor Finn is an early childhood teacher, and she was in a classroom for years, and she uses the activity page or develops the activity page based on what the theme is. Usually we'll get together, decide what the themes are, what the activities will be, and then Taylor will create those pages in it that'll develop those lesson plans in the book, in the cultural item. So it's all kind of connected, and it takes about 2-3 months to create everything, order everything, and we just have a team that does a little bit of everything.
So how does we talked a little bit before break? How do somebody, we're big in Wisconsin. We're live in a bunch of stations. We're on Civic Media Network all over Turtle Island here. And how would somebody get in touch with you about these INDIGEBOX?
They just need to go on our website and they can find out information. They can look at past boxes, and there's an order form on there, and you can do purchase orders or credit card, and they can just kind of look around. We did a survey of our participants, their customers, and because we want to know what they think of it. Just like tonight, we're asking Lynn, but really wanted to hear from them. And a lot of the responses said that they felt the materials were giving non-Indigenous teachers access to the proper and respectful teaching material of the Ojibwe culture, for example. So we use that feedback. A lot of them said it was really easy to incorporate into any other curriculum that they're using within the classroom.
That's totally exciting. I want to, if you don't mind, Barb, I want to get to Lynn and talk a little bit about, what is it like? So give an example of one of your favorite lessons and how you pull that out and how you basically teach it and how the kids respond.
Okay, so two lessons really come to mind. Last year we did the Winter Maker constellation, a lesson on that, and we don't have an active cultural coordinator, so the task falls to me. And so the kids have been introduced to this before, but the INDIGEBOX brought it to a whole new level. And so we read a book about the constellations, then the kids did an art activity, and it was wonderful to see the kids doing it with their own two hands on their own level, understanding the lesson and the story we just covered, and creating the Winter Maker constellation, and then teaching their parents about it. So we hung them all up in the entryway, and the parents were taught about Winter Maker from the children. So that was really a special one. Just recently, we did the Water Protector book.
Wow.
And so it was great. They gave us little plastic animals that I could put in the sensory table, and the kids reenacted the story with the black snake and talking about the importance of protecting our water and how water is life and how culturally important water is. So then I am blessed to have a beautiful outside area to walk and hike with our kids. So we went outside, and there was puddles because it had just rained, and the children automatically took what they learned in the book, and they're looking in the puddles and they're finding the two-leggeds and the four-leggeds that we are protecting, which the book talked about, and the winged ones. And so everything that we talked about in the book, everything we went through with the lesson, they have carried that on. And that was the first week of school, and they're still actively talking about it and being very careful about water and telling people about the importance of water and keeping it clean and safe. So these lessons are interactive, they're age appropriate, and they stick with the children. So the children go home and tell their families. It's really a powerful message with each lesson that we do.
Well, Barb, your business, Indigenous Visioning, created this, and to hear just those two things, it's funny because as adults, we talk about those same things here on Native Roots Radio. So that's exciting. I had a big smile when I heard about the black snake, and also we're star and earth, what us natives are made out of. So it was really cool to hear that.
You and me both, Robert. When listening to Lynn, I haven't heard that before, so I was really excited and very proud. Yeah, like Lynn was saying, the book accompanies a lesson plan. It provides, the overview is like literacy and language, large and small groups. Then we provide material in there and the story. We provide the developmental outcomes, social, emotional, physical, cognitive, literacy, science, and technology. And we also have teacher prompts to incorporate those language and discussions and those little moments.
Wow, as a high school teacher, former high school teacher, this curriculum sounds pretty progressive and pretty exciting. How does this differentiate in age, Lynn? How is this for young people? Because I love the message.
It's great. When I am preparing for the lessons, I feel very empowered as a teacher. When I have the background work, the materials teach me about the traditions, the culture, the language, and then I'm able to present that to the children. And in the lesson plan, there's differentiation. So it'll say, for younger children, do this, or for older children, do this. And so it makes it really easy to just hit the kids where they are at their different levels. And I just feel really prepared going into these lessons. And the materials are such high quality. I don't want to sound like a commercial, but I'm so impressed. Each box just gets better and better. And you can tell that they put a lot of thought and mindfulness into it because they meet the needs of the teacher and also the students.
So with the water protector, I just got a text from somebody listening that I know in Wisconsin, and he said black snake. You just said black snake, and I did because that is what was referred to in Standing Rock was the oil pipeline.
Right. And there's a picture of that in the book. And my students will still take the book and they will read it to each other. And they will talk about the black snake. And if they find litter outside in a puddle or something, they say, oh, the black snake was here. So they very much take these lessons to heart.
Wow, Barb, I hope your buttons are busting, because this is really exciting for me to hear.
Yeah, like I said, we didn't know how it was going to be received. And, we try to incorporate the culture and the values of Ojibwe and the stories, the traditions. And we have, we aren't the experts in all of that. So we look to our elders and some advisors to make sure that our content is accurate. And so, we have Vince Bile is our elder and our cultural advisor, and we run things by him, and very knowledgeable person. And so we just, these types of interactions, like Lynn was saying, they're relevant, and we wanted to make sure that they're relevant for Indigenous children, teachers, and non-tribal teachers.
Can you guys stay on another segment? I really am enjoying this, if you don't mind, and it's flying really by quickly. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, this episode of Native Roots Radio is presented in partnership with littlemoments.com.
Close. LittleMomentsCount.org. Little Moments Count is a statewide collaborative focused on helping parents and caregivers learn about the importance of brain development in the first 3 years of life. So if you haven't tuned in to hear me say this once, I'm going to say it again because it's so important. About 80% of brain growth happens in the first 1,000 days, and really small moments of interaction like talking, playing, reading, and singing with the child can help create pathways that really build their brain in the early stage of life. So you can go to littlemomentscount.org and you can find more information. There's really great resources there. And we're really excited to be partnering with Little Moments Count to talk about early childhood development conversations, which is who we have today. Robert, who's with us?
Wow, we're here with Barb, and Barb has a great guest here, Lynn, who's a teacher and utilizing this Indigenize book, Indigeny, a book, and it's just been really a great show, Barb. I would like you to possibly tell people how to get involved and how to reach out to you, and then we'll talk a little bit more about how great this package that you get as a teacher and with curriculum, and how great is that? For me, it's like, hey, help me write my curriculum. That's great.
Well, people can go to our website, which is indigenousvisioning.com, and there's an INDIGEBOX tab on there, and they can just click on that to find out more. And you're right, Robert, we created this subscription box because we've been in the early childhood field for 30 years. And I know we had many conversations about children, especially Indigenous children, that may not be living on a reservation and in an urban setting or in a non-tribal early childhood program. And we wanted children to see a little bit of their culture in the classroom, so that they feel welcome, they feel invited. And it's just been a wonderful experience and journey that we've been on with this. We're anxious to see where we're going. And we've also talked about maybe the next box to create would be the Dakota box. And so we've talked to a lot of people, and we get feedback from them. We also include a wonderful little resource magazine inside the INDIGEBOX, and it just talks about the teachings of the 7 grandfathers' teachings, the learning corner, traditions of the season, teachings and legends, connections to our language, recipe. We love that page. That's always fun. And wisdoms from our elder. And about, we share information about our elder and about our artists. And we're always looking for local artists, and crafters, so that we can include genuine craft items that are very common in our homes, and the children can relate to that.
Wow. I like what Evelyn put, enjoying listening, learning about tribal topics, not only our reservation, connecting with other natives. That's a really great point. And I know after you do the Lakota Dakota, Ho-Chunk will be right behind. Ho-wah. Yeah. All right, I'm cracking myself up. Lynn, any last words here about how you appreciate this box and you can't wait for the next subscription here?
It's true. And the magazine that Barb just talked about, I feel that it just makes me a better person. I understand the traditions, the teachings. I am implementing them in my life and in my home with my own children. It's just a whole new level of respect and understanding that I can bring to the classroom. And it helps me live it and understand it. And it makes me a better teacher to implement the 7 teachings and all the topics from the magazine. I'm easily able to implement it into every domain of learning for our children. And I feel that, again, as a non-native teacher, it's my responsibility to do that. But this box helps. I'm going to get choked up, but it helps me bring joy to my own life and to bring it to the children and to see the pride in them as they are learning about their culture. And when they see that I am proud of their culture and that I am also adopting the beliefs, the traditions into my own life. I have to say that INDIGEBOX is my biggest blessing as a teacher, besides my children, of course, but it is my best resource that I could ever have. Truly.
Wow, Barb, that got me emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
I have already sent an email to my daughter's school. She's out of the early childhood. She's already in 4th grade now. My oldest is, but I have a youngest who's just about 6 months old who'll be coming into early childhood soon. So I just sent over an email to our school's director and another teacher that has been, really adamant about getting this kind of stuff in. So thank you for bringing this to our show and to our communities, for the people who are tuning in. If there's a teacher in your life, an early childhood teacher, let them know that this exists.
I am in a very remote area. I'm 10 minutes from the Canadian border where I teach. And so we don't have easy access to all of the supplies and all the materials. And so when I get the box, everything I need is right there. So they make it easy to add excellence to the programming.
And I just want to say one thing too, Robert, is that, you don't have to be a teacher. We also, we have parents and grandparents that order this for their own home. So because they care for young children. So it's for anybody, really.
Well, there you go, Ogama. You can order one for us and yourself there in the deep north. I think that got me going as a former educator. We really appreciate you stopping in and speaking your truth and bringing this great information. And I don't know, that's it's been a great show so far. So, any last words before we let you go?
I just want to thank Little Moments Count. I've been involved with them for many years, and they really, really care about children, and they do things that are so innovative, and they keep the parent in mind and the child in mind, and that brain development. Those are staggering statistics if you really look at them. And we need to level the playing field for our kids. And Little Moments Count has been doing a lot of activities. So visit them, sign up for their information. You won't regret it. And miigwech for allowing us to come on here and share about INDIGEBOX. Like I said, we didn't know how it was going to be received, and we really appreciate it.
And I want to say thank you to you, Barb, for coming to Grand Portage, introducing me to this box. I will never forget when I said, is it appropriate for a teacher like me to use this box? And you said, we made this box for teachers like you. And that made me feel included and respected and very honored that you trust me to carry on these teachings. So thank you.
Wow, really great point there, Lynn. And great questions to ask somebody in the Native culture if it's appropriate. That's rock star status. Really appreciate that, and appreciate you both being on today. And I can't wait until what you have for us in a couple weeks, Barb, because it's just these shows are just getting better and better. And really excited for you and your organization and what you're doing for Native kids, but all kids across Turtle Island.
Miigwech.
All right, you guys have a great night. Thanks for stopping in. Wow, that was amazing.
That was wonderful, and I'm so excited. I'm on the website right now, and I'm like, am I going to sign up? It's a little early.
Multitasking as usual.
I am multitasking as usual, but I'm looking at the box and I'm thinking like, oh, well, my baby isn't old enough and my oldest isn't young enough, but also my Ojibwe skills are probably about that of an early childhood student. So I could order it for me and help build my skills.
Yeah. Well, I was definitely thinking about it too, and not just because I'm a former teacher, but just that's exciting stuff. And it's funny, we talk about, like I said earlier in the interview, Ogama, we talk about this stuff on the daily when it comes to Native issues, and we're always not only talking to our Native relatives, but our white allies who are really interested. And it was great to hear what Lynn said, because we get that a lot. I got that a lot at the store at the state fair too. It's like, is it okay if I wear this? And those are great questions to ask, and because we need all the allies we can get, right?
Well, I think a lot of teachers too have come on, or that I've talked to, like around my daughter's school, and I'm in school right now with a teaching focus, and a lot of non-Native people go, I want to teach about Native culture and history. I want to talk about this with my students, but I don't know how to do it in a respectful way. They're aware that a lot of what they've been taught and a lot of what they see in the media isn't respectful to Indigenous people, but they don't know where to start to decolonize their mindset about it. And a lot of times they come to Native people and go, can you come speak to my class? Can you help me with this? And to have something like a subscription box, which is just genius, honestly, that goes directly to teachers and gives them the permission and empowers them and uplifts them to say, this is something that's important for you to teach, and here's an easy way for you to help teach it to your students, is just so meaningful and powerful. It's going to make a big difference in how we view tribal and Native people here in Minnesota, tribal governments, Native people, everything from the ground up.
Yeah. Definitely. And, it was funny too, when I think about prescription boxes or subscription, we had subscribed to fruit, we got different fruit once a month, and it was different.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. And then also those subscription, like clothes, I see people, or shoes and things.
Oh, I've seen those. The best one I think I ever had is, when my husband and I were dating, I got him like a worldwide food subscription box. So every month they sent him snacks from a different country. That one was really fun. I kind of missed that one. I might have to sign up for that one again now too.
Sign us up too. Oh, hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. And I like what Kathleen said. It should be sent to all schools in the USA. Amen to that. Hey, Ogama, thanks for everything. And wow, what a great show. Great guests, as always. If you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance. From Chief Plentycoup's ground in which we stand on, is sacred ground, is blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office. We're still here. We are the 7th generation. Free Leonard Peltier.
Thanks for listening to the Little Moments Count radio podcast in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. You can find the Little Moments Count radio podcast wherever you get your podcasts and at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.